Today is the day after I got home from Detroit. I have had a busy day catching up with everything. It's getting late in the afternoon, but now finally I can settle down and start getting into some coins. The first thing I want to do is bust open a box of half dollars and hope that I find something. Um, we had a good trip, whether I find anything or not, but part of the all of this was to get the coins in Detroit and hope that we find something fun as we're going through it. So let's get started. And the ceremonial box opening. They're not all Canadian. I hope we find something. Let's get into it. Well, sadly, folks, there wasn't really an ender to speak of. I was really hoping to see a little something else, but, it's not all over yet. We got a lot of rolls to go through. See if we find anything. Nothing in roll number one. My trip to Detroit was a pleasant one. My wife and I had a good time. Stayed at a very nice hotel in Toledo. Seeing Detroit was something, I'll say that. Let's see here. Interesting toning. Detroit's a pretty old city, I suppose, and there was, man, oh man, I know that, it used to be the big motor city where all our cars are made, but you can sure tell that it's not the city that it used to be. There were so many beautiful, huge old buildings that were just empty, and just, I suppose if something doesn't change, they're just going to rot away, and it's a crying shame. It's so nice. One of the things that I really wanted to see that we got to see, didn't get to tour it, but it just didn't work out. But if you are familiar with the song, the Edmund Fitzgerald, which is a favorite of one of mine and my wife's, Gordon Lightfoot, who sadly passed away not long ago, sang about the Edmund Fitzgerald, the ship that sank in Lake Superior in 1975, and it's just a great song. But in the song, he talks about there's a musty old hall in Detroit where they prayed, and the church bells chimed 29 times for every man on the Edmund Fitzgerald. And it's called the Maritime Sailors Cathedral in the song. And we went and saw that. That was really cool. And the placement of it, I mean, that little old building is right smack downtown, right where you turn to go into Canada. And we turned in there, and there was almost nowhere to go. I mean, there was no parking. It was kind of crazy. We had to get turned around to get out of there because we weren't not prepared to go to Canada. But it was really cool to see that. I was told years ago, I happened to be in Detroit for business some years ago, and I wanted to go see it, but I couldn't see it during the daytime. And a person said, you don't want to go there at nighttime, let me tell you. So I didn't go. But I'm glad I got to go yesterday. Yeah, another green one. The Chase Bank that I went to, it's the one I happened to order from this time. I ordered from several different banks. And I went into it, and everybody was super nice there. But an old gentleman came in who was clearly wired out on drugs. He came in and got a pen and made some comments that were unintelligible and left. And the manager there just shook his head and said, "Boy, it's a shame what drugs do to these people." But the homes, the huge, beautiful old century-year-old homes that were around the area where this bank was were just amazing. Man, oh man. You could tell that there was a day when Detroit was really flourishing. I took a few pictures while we were there. We were in and out pretty quickly because we wanted to get back yesterday. But I got a couple pictures I'll pop up here as I'm going through. Wow, look at that. Golly. It's interesting toning on that one on the back of it. Well, sadly, we're just not coming across too much. I suppose that the Brinks coin roller is pretty much the same in every city. I'm not a big fan of taking interstate everywhere. I mean, unless you just really got to get somewhere quick, then of course you do that. But once we got through Cincinnati, going north to Detroit, I got off interstate. To the east, I mentioned the road last night. I can't think of it right now, but the road that town of Belafonte is on, 86, something like that. We went up that road north and just went to all the little towns, and they were, I tell you, the little towns up in Ohio are just great. They're just super. The shops are great, and most of them have taken the old downtown buildings and fixed them up, and they've got shops and stuff in them, and they've just done a great job. The towns are really quaint and friendly. That was probably my favorite part of the trip, was just going through these nice little towns in Ohio. If things work out right, my wife and I are supposed to take a small vacation back to Ohio later this fall. Ooh, wow, that's neat. Wow, that's a wild color. Almost rose looking. I'll set that one aside. We're going to go to the one of the islands, Put-in-Bay Island. It's just really nice up there. And we like to go just after the busy season and just relax and take it easy. You can rent you a golf cart for the day and just ride all around the island and check out the different things and stop and get your feet in the water every now and then. It's really nice. Oh, and taking the ferry out to the island, that's a lot of fun too. This is an NIFC 2014 Philadelphia. Looks like 2.5 million of them were made. That's not very many when you think of coin mintages, you know. Not many at all. Here's that silver that I found in Ohio. Guess that was yesterday. Oh, I hope that's ain't the only one that I get from the whole trip, but it might be. It might be. When I was running my errands today, trying to get caught up on everything, I have one bank that orders at least 2 boxes for me every week. I ran in there to pick it up, and they're like, "We were looking for you yesterday." And I said, "I told you I was going to Detroit." And they're like, "Oh, that's right, you did tell us that." So after I go through all this stuff from Detroit and the pennies from Ohio, I've still got 2 boxes that I picked up today, but that'll be next week, I guess, early next week. I did get the feeling that I need to go to Detroit and spend a little bit more time just taking an afternoon and just going around and seeing more of the sights than I got to see yesterday. We just didn't get to see a lot. So I may do this again sometime. If I don't find much in the $50, I talked to somebody, one of you guys wrote me a month or 2 ago, I think from Minnesota, close to the Canadian border. And they told me that they get a pretty good amount of Canadian pennies when they order coins from the bank. And that's one of the things that motivated me, was just hoping that I might get a larger percentage. It's just fun for me. It's the whole finding things different, and just, when you're going through these coins. I have a purpose, I'm collecting copper and that sort of stuff, but just the fun of different stuff is still a whole lot of my reason for being here. The old, the trip is as important as the destination thing. Well, I can't say that I'm seeing anything from the Detroit $50 that I don't see in the $50 around my area here. Oh, yeah, one of the things, those stickers that I made, I got rid of all of them as I was going through Ohio in the different places. Like if I would give people tips and stuff, I'd give them the $50, and just, stopping at the gas station and get a pack of peanuts or whatever, And so I got rid of a whole bunch of them on the way. So some people looked at them like, "What in the world is this?" We'll see what happens. I was thinking the next ones that I make, I'm just going to put my Two Sheds Gabby on there. Maybe the that symbol that I use that has the Ben Franklin in the end of the row. I'm just going to put that on there and put a bunch of them on there and say, visit Two Sheds Gabby on YouTube, and get rid of a bunch of them that way. I hope that I eventually get a few people commenting saying, "Hey, I found one." I'll try to mix more of those up this weekend. Well, where's the silver? Nothing too impressive coming out of this box, is there? I went into, it was the drive-through of a credit union in one little town, and I asked if she had $50, and she goes, "Yeah, I do." And I was so excited, and I asked if I could buy them. She goes, "Not if you're not a member." I'm like, "Oh, please, it's only, it was like $6 worth." "Sorry, you have to be a member." Oh, man. I was struggling to find the $50 at a lot of these places. So that was really disappointing. just not many surprises. And that's one of the things I look for the most, is surprises. Doesn't even have to be a good surprise, you know. Fill one slot with a quarter, and that would just, still, it's better than the normal to me. Just anything different. I like finding things different. That's one reason I like going through these little small towns I've never been to before. It's different. You see where it's been pinched? That's like the third one I've seen. Somebody, instead of marking them, they pinched some of them. As I was going through Ohio looking for the $50, stopping in asking for $50. Look, there's another pinched one. Sure. I was also picking up pennies, and so I've got like $35 in rolls of pennies that I picked up in Ohio, as well as the boxes I picked up in Detroit. So I think after I finish this box of $50, I think I might go through my Ohio pennies and try to get a video up maybe tomorrow for that. Just 3 rolls, no, 5 rolls left. 2 of them were hidden. Well, folks, that was box number 1 of $50 from Detroit, and you know, it wasn't fantastic. I was just hoping for something different, and I didn't get it, but that's okay. Life goes on. We had a good time, and I've gone through all 4 boxes of $50 from Detroit. Whew, that was atrocious. I didn't get anything. It was awful. Oh well, that's okay.